Yeah, no, I'm down. YouTube, let's go. YouTube, episode 1. I mean, yeah, it's weird. I don't know where to start. I've never really spoken on camera before, kind of talking about what I'm doing or what I've done. And I think, going into this kind of next chapter, like into new ventures, I need to get better at talking about what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with, and sort of why I'm doing it. And I think, I'm very excited about it because I'm going out on my own, doing my own thing, and I get to do it for myself. So any sort of pressures that are sort of coming my way now, it's all good pressures, and it's all pressures that I'm putting on myself. So it's going to be.
Okay. So the 170 is.
It's going to be an interesting stage in my life, trying to adapt and get more comfortable and familiar with it.
Why did you quit your job? What was the main reason that you quit your job?
I think for me, it was just kind of time. I've spent three and a half years out in London, and over that time, I was very grateful for what I got to do, what I got to do, and the people I got to do it with. Part of my role is very people-facing, very people-focused. Connecting with loads of different people from the fitness industry, and it's allowed me to build up like a nice network, good connections with people, meaningful connections, and not just ones where it's transactional. Like something that we focused on when I was working at One London was, when we go into partnerships or build these connections, it wasn't just a transactional thing. It was very, we wanted it to be a partnership. We wanted it to be something where it was long lasting and it wasn't just a short-term fix. And I think, in this space, a lot of partnerships or conversations or collaborations, they can be very transactional. It's like, people just looking to get something from you and vice versa, where, with what we did, and I think that set us apart, was, actually finding these partnerships where we can grow together and then sort of mutually beneficial. Yeah.
What is your what is project? Do you have any projects in mind, or what is next for Jake?
I got a few things on the horizon which I'm very excited about. I got a little passion project working with two of my closest mates, Starkey and Gabriel. So Starkey and I were going to start a brand back in the day in 2021. We were looking to make an apparel company, and things didn't really go our way with it. We weren't 100% sure if that was the direction we wanted to go in. So actually, from being at One London and facilitating a space where people can make meaningful connections, go away, and it's they make friends for life, whether they make find boyfriends, girlfriends, or housemates, or literally just a mate to run with on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning. We were able to create that space where they felt they could be open and create those organic sort of relationships. So I want to take that into a project and just scale it and make it bigger than just being locked into one space. So yeah, it's very exciting what we have going on. I'm not going to say too much about it because I just want to keep it hush hush until we kind of get our sort of finished product, or a product that we're happy with, and then we'll kind of bring that into the forefront of everything that we're doing on socials, and you'll see a lot more of it on my channel as well. But yeah, very, very excited about what that could turn into and what that can be. And then also, going back to what I was saying about as partnerships and meaningful connections, is something that we want to draw into that product. And hopefully it'll work, but we'll see. There's a lot out there, and it's just trying to set ourselves apart from competition and other products that may deliver a similar service. So yeah, I think for me right now that's the main thing. If I can make that full time, then happy days. And then on the side of that, at the moment I'm working sort of freelance with brands, building out communities, helping them with their sort of brand identity, and kind of strengthening those elements. That's what I can bring value to for brands that are kind of looking to, again, find that more meaningful connection within their own communities, within their own space. So, again, that's very exciting, being able to help other people and bring value to what they already have and kind of strengthen their product. That is something that I didn't think I'd be able to do, especially starting at One London. I started as a coach and then kind of moved into the head of fitness role, community role. And then over time, obviously, that evolved into brand. And it was always one of those things where, there wasn't a lot of confidence in myself thinking that I could bring value to these certain elements within a company, or within a business or a product. But yeah, I think over those 3 years, it's kind of been a learning curve to kind of back myself and know that I can bring something new, or I guess bring something new to I don't know what I'm saying now. I get lost in my words there. Yeah.
You've been talking about about the 3 years in One London.
Yeah. Oh wait. I didn't really answer the why did I leave?
Yeah.
Because I think like a lot of people thought I was going to be there for like a very long time, and you're kind of in the same space. I'm based in Fulham, so like my kind of radius was this. It was very small, and for me, in terms of where I want to go, it was just I needed, I think, to change the environment, to understand that there is more out there outside of the gym, not just in terms of like my training, but in terms of like opportunities, work opportunities, who I want to work with and stuff like that. So I think there was an element of that, changing the environment and kind of stepping out of that comfort zone. I could always, you always go back to the same space. You have a job, you can work on the projects that you're working on, and it's kind of structured out, and you feel safe. And I think that element of that cliche of stepping outside of your comfort zone, I think it was really playing on my mind over like a long period of time. So I was I think the whole point was just to step outside of my comfort zone and be able to explore new options, play on my strengths that I've kind of built over the time at One London, and kind of what I've learned to like, and I know what I don't like, and I think really hone in on that, because at the end of the day, if I want to make something in this world and like do something where I'm passionate about, there was an element of like I wanted to be able to do it for myself, and I wanted to be able to work for myself. So I think again that comes into it. And like work on my own time, work with the people that I want to work with. I think is really key, and I guess have that freedom to navigate the space on my own or with the people that I choose to do it with. So I think that played a big part into my decision making on leaving One London. So I think again, like I've only spoken to the camera a handful of times, so it's like again trying to, I guess, give a good enough picture on what's in my head, because a lot of the time you think about these things in your head and you're like, oh, it makes perfect sense, but then when you try to articulate it, it's like does it actually make sense to the wider audience, or whoever you're trying to talk to? But yeah, I guess that will just come with time, won't it?
Yeah. Practice, bro.
Yeah, it's easy to stand up and host an event and talk to people about an event that you kind of like put together. But then that's talking about an event. That's people have come for that. That's the value. So they're going to listen. They're going to be interested. But then it's like, okay, cool. When you're talking about yourself, is it of value? Is it are people interested in kind of what you're doing from a personal standpoint? It's that always played on my mind. So then I think it always made it harder to get in front of a camera and actually just have that conversation. So yeah, it's weird. It's almost like therapy.
Yeah.
And that's tough because I can't do that. I don't know what feelings are. I'll talk a little bit about training as well, because I feel like everyone thought I trained so much when I was at One London.
Yeah.
Towards the end of back end of last year, got a little injury. Me and a mate, we were just like mucking about, scrapping on the combat mats in One London, and I don't know, something went in my knee, it popped. Still don't know to this day what it is, which I was just nervous about going to get it checked out to, if I got like a bad result and they were like, oh, you can't do this or that. So like I was in a very good place with my CrossFit. Strength levels were probably like the highest they've ever been. Like my numbers were good. But then from this injury, I kind of let it be a bit of a crutch in terms of, stopping me from training, from mentally, and then from just like a physical standpoint. And off the back of that, I was like, oh, I need to find something else to do. But like I can't do all the strength movements, gymnastics movements, high intensity, high rep, like volume stuff that I was doing with CrossFit. Just like fine, like I'll give running a bit of a go, give high rocks a bit of a go. And at this point, we're just finalised our partnership with Nike. So then with that, we had a crew of athletes, 20 athletes from across the UK who were going to represent One London and Nike as like our elite team to try and get as many of them to Worlds as possible. So then Joe and I, we did our first high rocks in London in December at the XL, and then off the back of that, I think it was nice because I hadn't done anything in a while, so it kind of gave me that competitive edge again to like focus on something, hone in on a bit of training, but obviously like with work, like it was busy, like it was good busy. I enjoyed it a lot, but then also with that, then maybe I didn't give enough time into training. So, the season goes on, qualified for Worlds in Katowice in Poland, and then from there it was like, cool, gonna hone in, gonna like dial in and, like focus on training. But with everything that came with work, I still wasn't able to. Even though I was working in the gym, people thought, oh, it'd be easy. But, we had a lot on. So, I was training, but not to the intensity that I wanted to, not to the capacity and volume that I wanted to. So, I was maybe running like once or twice a week, like one medium run. Again, still hate running, it still bores me, but I like the fact that I don't like it, which kind of spurs me on to do it, if that makes sense. It's like a weird mental thing, challenge there. And then, I think from Worlds, it really showed, like we PB'd every race, which was great. And then we got 56.01 in Chicago. But again, like you're racing against the best of the best, right? When you finish your race or qualify for your race, like you, at that point, you're like the top dog there. You're the top team or whatever it may be. But then when you're at Worlds, everyone's been in that position, everyone's been the top dog in their race, in their qualifying race, right? And we were looking at our times compared to other people, And I think for Joe, like he was dragging me along a little bit. There were probably a couple of times when we were going around the track, I was like barely breathing, and he would look back and I'd just be like, just go, like I'll be there, don't worry. Just kind of like dribbling and just like in an absolute state. But I mean, yeah, we made it through. He dragged me through, which was, credit to him. He stuck with me on that. But yeah, I think going forward, my competitive nature, I don't want to be in that position. I want to make sure that, Joe and I are, he's not looking behind him to see if I'm alive or breathing. It's, I'm by his side, and, we're going into the stations together. We're holding the same paces on the runs, and, just getting better every time. So I think for me as well, there's having this time off and exploring different options also allows me to dial in more on my training, and really focus on, the weaknesses that I had from last season and how I can elevate my performance going into this next season. So Joe and I are going back to London Excel, going to race there, ideally go for like some low 50s. That's kind of the aim going into that season. London's going to be a very busy, hectic race, a very high caliber of athlete. So, we'll kind of see how we hold up against them, and it'll be a good benchmark to kind of see like what this training block has done, and where we kind of filled in those holes, I guess. And then with that, we'll just look to get in maybe 2 or 3 races in the season, qualify for Worlds, and then do it all again in Stockholm. I think that's for us, that's just going to be the goal. Potentially we might do some individual stuff along the way, again just to elevate that performance, strengthen our weaknesses, and just see what we can do as individuals. I can speak for myself, but I can't really speak for Joe. But yeah, we'll kind of see how we go along the season, and hopefully just get better and better, and then try and compete with the top in the sport. I think that's what you want to do. That's why you get into it, right? Joe and I are both from a rugby background, very competitive, did CrossFit, competed with each other, competed against each other. So I think, even though we're, partners racing in High Rocks, there's still a competitive edge between us when we race to like push each other on. If I see like he's going to go harder, cool, I'm going to go harder, and vice versa. Until it gets to the running, that's when I can't push it. But yeah, we'll see now. I mean, like, I'm doing more running, building the volume week on week. So not just only on the tarmac or the track, but sitting on a bike a little bit longer, doing more erg stuff. Where it's all just going to start to affect and implement and better my overall capacity and transfer into that running. So I think it's going to be exciting, and it's like actually giving yourself a bit of time to see those adaptations and those changes in your performance. I think that's very key. A lot of people get too excited and book a race every bloody weekend, and then it doesn't allow them to recover or focus on those weaknesses and really dial in on what's missing from their overall performance. So yeah, I think for me it's just being patient, allowing myself to have a bit of time to focus on that, and then we'll see. It'll be good. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think with a lot of these opportunities now, you can just say yes to everything. Just see what's out there, and then that's what I love, because you go to these different events or work with whatever brands or whatever it may be, and then you have a conversation, and then one thing it leads to another, and that bit of being curious and just exploring options, that's the fun part. That's what I really enjoy, because you never know where it's going to lead.
100%, bro.
Yeah. So I think that was the other thing as well. when you work, like whatever you do for work, you know, sometimes there's just it's so demanding, it's so like hectic, you know, your emotion, physically, mentally, is just so, you know, tapped into what you're doing there. It's, you know, if things did come up, it was like, oh, I don't know if I can do it now because I'm like really tired, or I've done this or whatever. And yeah, I guess, yeah, it goes back into that sort of freedom aspect of just see what's out there.
100%, bro. Sick.
Yeah.
Fucking sick, bro. I'm really happy with
Cool.
that.
Nice.
We're gonna try YouTube.
Okay.
And just fucking, just keep rolling. Fucking sick, bro. How are you feeling? Feeling good?
Feeling good.